I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This video series, which is part of my online music academy, specifically accompanies the Tablature Book from my Method Book series. Like all my books, this selection is available to purchase through Amazon and Google Play. For help, see the links in the description below. In the videos which are part of this specific course, I progress through the lessons in the Tablature Book, explaining and demonstrating concepts and playing each of the songs and exercises contained therein, so you can hear how they sound and play them right along with me. You are of course welcome to view these videos with or without the book, but with the book you can work through all the songs and exercises, and in the process develop your melodic playing ability while also mastering the skill of reading music written in tablature. Alright, let's get to jamming in this lesson. Hi there, welcome back. In this video, we are working on numbers 31 through 41 on pages 27 through 33, and we're adding some more involved rhythmic figures to the melodies that we've been playing, and we'll even be doing that with an exercise that'll help us get prepared with number 31, and then we'll progress on with number 32 through 41, playing some melodies that have more involved rhythms, but otherwise using the same types of techniques that we've used previously with numbers 1 through 29 and 30. So, over here on the board, I've got some examples to help us out with these rhythms that are suggested there on page 27 as some new things that are going to be showing up. So, we've already talked about these. We talked about these when we got started with the basic tablature info. But eighth notes, we haven't yet played eighth notes, but we have eighth notes. And eighth notes look like quarter notes, only as you'll recall, they have one flag attached to the stem, or if more than one are next to each other and they're beamed together, they'll just have one beam. So those are worth half the value or half the length of a quarter note. And then we can have that again with 16th notes, which we recognize by them having two beams or two flags. Now with the rests, looks kind of like a Y. One little Y is the eighth note, add another little Y sort of to it, and we get the 16th note. We could cut that in half again and get a 32nd note. We'd have three beams, three flags, and three little Ys, so to speak. They're stacked on top of each other. But we don't really run into those very often, and we're not going to be seeing that here. So let's look at the other ones though. Previously we've seen a dotted half note. When we take a dot and add it to the length of a note, we're adding half the value of that note to its overall length. So with a half note, half the value of that is a quarter note. So a half note plus a quarter note equals 3 counts, or 2 plus 1 equals 3. So with a dotted quarter, so when the dot sits next to that quarter note, then half the value of a quarter note is a half note, or is an eighth note, half a beat. So 1.5 counts, or 1.5 beats is what we get. With the dotted quarter rest, you can have the dot sitting next to the rest as well. So we may run into those, or I can guarantee we're going to. We also have the dotted eighth note, and you could have a dotted 16th note if you ended up having 32nd notes, but we're not going to see it. But the dotted eighth note takes half the value of an eighth note and adds it to the length of the eighth note. So 3/4 of a beat. Since an eighth note is worth half a beat, half of that would be a quarter of a beat, so the length of a 16th note. So an eighth note plus a 16th note, 3/4 of a beat. So we will run into that from time to time, and you could have the dotted eighth rest as well. The other thing that we're going to see is triplets. Triplets is kind of a new thing for us. Triplets take and they push 3 notes in place of 2 notes, so to speak. So you may have noticed, I don't know, that everything's been divided in half. So you have a whole note divided in half. We get the half note divided in half. We get the quarter note divided in half. We get an eighth note divided in half. And we get a 16th note. Divide that in half and we get a 32nd note, which we're not really playing with any of the melodies that we have. But you can take it and instead divide that note by 3, and we get a triplet, so 3 notes in place of 1. So If I took, for example, a whole note, which is worth 4 counts, which is normally divided in half by 2 half notes. 2 half notes equal a whole note. If I instead squeeze 3 half notes there in place of the 2, they're all going to be worth just a little bit less. They're all going to be worth 1/3 the value of that whole note. So 3 half notes put together, and they'd be bracketed together with a 3 tell us I'm going to play those 3 half notes in the space of 1 whole note. If it was 3/4 notes, I would be playing 3/4 notes instead of 2/4 notes in the space of 1 half note. So the example I have up here on the board, though, is 3/8 notes in the space of 1/4 note instead of what normally happens, which is 2/8 notes, and you can see how it's sort of bracketed together. Now, the goal in this tablature sort of setting is that mostly you're learning very intuitively. This is where I put my fingers and I'm watching those tabs, but I have to listen with my ear to hear how to play the song, especially if I don't know it. So as you're playing along with me, which is crucial, and hearing how I'm playing it, and then you're trying to play it the same way, the tabs help you know where your fingers go and how to do that. You're going to mostly be picking up the rhythmic values intuitively for me, which is the ideal thing to do at this point. But we'll also practice a little bit with reading and understanding them, though it helps to just kind of get it intuitively, and then we go back to reading music like actual music notation. Our ear sort of tells us, oh, that's what something that looks like that is supposed to sound like. But we'll go ahead and we'll start with number 31 there, and we on this page, and we'll get to practice reading and getting familiar with some of these rhythmic things before we dive into those melodies where they're going to start to pop up, where you'll mainly be hearing intuitively and working on how to play it based on how you hear me play it. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 31. Okay, so we're on page 27 with number 31. We're going to practice some of these rhythmic ideas and these rhythmic figures. We're just going to work on things kind of in sections first so we can get used to the rhythms. In this case, all of these rhythmic ideas with number 31 are just played on the open top string. So rather than reading the tablature in this particular instance, you may find it helpful to actually look at the rhythmic figures that are up in the standard music notation. So the first thing, let's practice with eighth notes. So the eighth notes, we're just going to go back and forth. We're not going to actually play a specific figure yet, but eighth notes go twice as fast as quarter notes. So if I'm plucking down quarter notes, then eighth notes go twice as fast. With eighth notes, a lot of folks will start to actually use the alternate picking. So you can choose to do that if you want to, or you can continue to pluck everything down. But I'll demonstrate here. I've got down, down, down. Then when I go to eighth notes, I go down, up, down, up, down, up. Just like so. Now, eighth notes bring in something known as the subdivision of the beat, meaning they've divided the beat in half in this case. So if we were to count these rhythms, when we're counting other rhythms, we can just kind of keep track of the beat. There's 4/4 time, then 4 beats per measure. I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can just play rhythmic figures where they fall on the beat. So for eighth notes that introduce something in between the beat, an off beat is sometimes referred to, we need a word to use for when those eighth notes fall on the off beat instead of on the beat. So a lot of times we'll count those using the word and. So if I were counting the beat with quarter notes, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then if I add in eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I continue to say the number of the beat that a note falls on when it falls on a beat, and then I use the word and when it doesn't fall on a beat. So there at number 31, the first two measures go back and forth between quarter notes and eighth notes. Let's play just those first two measures. So you're going to have, and I'm going to count the rhythm to try and help us out here. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. Let's do it again. Ready, D and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Let's take it faster. 1, 2, D and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. We could go even faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so the next two measures work with the dotted quarter note and an eighth note. So that's something we'll often see together. A dotted quarter note taking up 1.5 beats, followed by an eighth note taking up the other half of the beat that's missing. Or it may go the other way. An eighth note followed by a dotted quarter note. So an eighth note taking up half a beat, and then a dotted quarter note filling in the rest of that beat, and then also the next beat. So here, sometimes it's helpful to subdivide. Think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and think that subdivision as I'm counting, and then put those notes where they actually go. So in the case of these two measures, so measures 3 and 4 of that first line, I'd have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you got practice with both examples, both ways that it tends to go. We're going to practice these one at a time. So just the third measure. We'll just repeat that over and over. You got 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. A lot of times with these, you continue to alternate the way you're plucking if you're into that alternate plucking thing. So the fourth bar then has the other option with the eighth note and the dotted quarter. So the eighth note first, so we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we could go faster. 1 and 2 and ready and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and if we go even faster, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Kind of fun. Let's put the third and fourth bar together, so we'll practice both there. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little faster. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little faster. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, let's play that whole line. The whole first line, I should say. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Hopefully you're getting these kind of intuitively from me as you're also reading them there. Okay, so if we take a look at the second line now, we're going to get triplets coming in there in the first couple measures. So we're going to start with eighth note triplets. So with eighth note triplets, we put 3 eighth notes together in place of 2 eighth notes. So 3 eighth notes now have to take up the space of 1 quarter note. So with eighth note triplets, we could go, it kind of helps to say 1 and a when counting them. 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, that sort of thing. So 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a is the rhythm of that first measure. So if I were to just do a string of triplets, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a The trick with these triplets is plucking. I can do them all down pluck if that's what you're doing. You can also go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, so you can keep that alternating happening the whole time. Or you can start each triplet over, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Being that we're learning in this sort of intuitive, take it all in at the same moment kind of fashion, whichever one's most comfortable to you is probably the way to go at the moment. Or you could practice with various ones. Let's practice that first measure together. So you can have 1 and a 2 and a ready and a go and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. It's a little bit faster. 1 and a 2 and a ready and a go and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay, now with the second measure with the quarter note triplets, they're going to slow down a bit. Now we've got 3 quarter notes fitting into the space of a half note instead of 2 quarter notes. So if I played 4 quarter notes back to back, I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's kind of how that works with those second and third measures. Let's try doing all 3 measures together. So you can have 1, 2, ready, and 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Third time's the charm. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 16th notes in that 4th bar. So 16th notes, we're fitting 4 16th notes in the place of 1 quarter note. So in the place of 2 8th notes, now we've got 4 16th notes. So at the 8th note level, we're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So you just go twice as fast is all. And you heard me counting 1 E and a. So with those extra subdivisions, now we can take half a beat and subdivide it further into a quarter of a beat. So for each of those quarters, we have the one that lands on the beat, and we'll say the name of the beat if we're counting. And then we have the one that lands halfway in between. We're still going to use the word and. So for the other two, though, for the second one, that second quarter, we use E as the word, and for the last quarter, we use So 1 E and that's kind of the way we like to count those, or some of us do or grew up doing it that way. So with that last measure of that second line, it'd be like 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and just like that. And I'd actually say the beat. I didn't say the beat that we were on when we got there. So you can try playing this one with me. We got 1, 2, ready, and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. You might notice that I've continued to subdivide with the words that I'm saying. That's helping me keep track of where these rhythms are. It may help you to do the same. Okay, so let's try it again. 1 E and 2 E and ready E and go E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and E and 2 E and 3 E and do it faster. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready E and a go E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1 E and a 2 again. Okay, so now if we go on to the third line, those first two measures, we're going to practice with something we see from time to time, an eighth note followed by 2/16 or 2/16 followed by an eighth note. So there, just in those two bars, we can use the counting to help us find where these beats are, but this is in the third line, first two measures. So we got 1 E and a 2 E and a ready E and a go E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and let's do it again. Ready, and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and again. Ready, and okay, a little bit faster. 1 E and a 2 E and a ready E and a go E and a. Let's do it again. Ready, and 1 E and a 2. Okay, and again. Ready, and 1 E. Okay, so now in the next two bars on that third line, we're going to look at the dotted eighth note followed by the 16th note. So the dotted eighth note is going to get 3/4 of that beat, so 1 E and is a great thing. A lot of times the dotted eighth note will happen first, followed by the 16th note. So that'd be like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Could also happen the other way. So the way I just said is in that third bar, and then in the fourth bar it happens the other way. 16th note followed by the dotted eighth. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Let's read the rhythm that's there in bars 3 and 4 of that third line. Ready, and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and again, and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and okay, a little bit faster. Ready, and 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a little faster. Ready, and 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay. Okay, so as we move on to that last line, then we're going to have all these elements sort of coming in together. So the first measure, we'll just look at these one measure at a time. The first measure has the triplet sneaking in on us. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and let's just loop that over and over. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and let's take it a little bit faster. Ready, and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Let's look at the next measure. This one has the 16th note, then instead it's sneaking in on the so the 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. If I slow it down and let's play it together. 3 3E and a 4E and a 1, 2E and a 3 and 4 again, 1, 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1, 2E and a 3 and 4, 1, 2E and a 3 and 4. Okay, let's take it a little bit faster. 3E and a 4E and a 1, 2E and a 3 and 4, 1, 2E and a 3 and 4. 1, 2E and a 3 and 4. Okay, now we're going to have the triplets again, so switching back and forth between the 16th notes and the triplets. So there in bar 3, we're back to 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. I should say that last beat is a 4. So let's do that. 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. I think triplets are easier to find the faster we go. Let's slow it down a little bit. So you go 3, 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4. Okay. Okay, so as we look at the last measure then, we've got the dotted 8th followed by a 16th, then a triplet, and then a half note. The difference between 16th notes and triplets is very small. 1/4 versus 1/3. There's just a small bit of a difference there. Let's practice this one a little bit. So you're going to have 1E and a 2 and a 3, 4, and 1E and a 2 and a 3, 4, and 1E and a 2 and a 3 and 4, and 1E and a 2 and a 3 and 4, and a little bit faster, 3 and 4, and 1E and a 2 and a 3 and 4, and 1E and a 2 and a 3 and 4, and... Okay, let's try the whole last line. So we're going to have 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4, 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4, 1E and a 2 and a 3 and 4, and let's do it again. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4, 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4, 1E and a 2 and a 3 and 4, and you can take it just a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4, 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4, 1E and a 2 and a 3 and 4, and it's like the Iron Man of rhythms on the guitar. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this whole exercise then. So we're going to be switching around a little bit. I'll be here to help you. Mostly getting these down like individually will help in the songs. The songs are way easier than actually doing this exercise here. So this is like preparing us for that. We practice harder with exercises that make the music just flow a little bit more naturally. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2 and 3E and a 4, 1E and a 2 and 3 and a 4, 1E and a 2 and 3 One little helpful tidbit that may help you with something like this that switches around a lot between these rhythms is to look ahead and sort of be subdividing the one that's coming ahead in a longer note. So for example, in that first line, if I'm subdividing eighth notes the whole time, I should be just fine. But as we're hitting that second line, I'm going to have that triplet coming up. So on beat 4 of that very last measure on the first line, when I get to 4, if I think 4 and then I'm prepared to play 1 and on that first measure of the second line. So if I'm thinking ahead in my subdivisions, it can help me when we actually get to the subdivision. Sometimes if we have to think what the subdivision is right when we get there, it throws us off. So that's the trick that happens in my head. I'm thinking ahead sometimes as to what those are. The more you play these rhythms, the more they just become intuitive. And when you see one, you just kind of know what to do. But it can help to, if you are counting, to be thinking that way. Okay, we'll go ahead and do this one. I won't say the counts out loud, so you can just try and play along. And we'll take it a little faster than last time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, let's flip on over to page 28 and we'll start playing some melodies with these. Okay, so here we are on page 28. We're going to start doing some of these melodies. Now the melodies are way easier than the rhythms we were just working on, though we will see some of those rhythmic aspects sneaking in from time to time. It's not near as daunting as trying to play a whole bunch of rhythms back to back like that. So we're going to start off with number 32, Shoe Fly. This one just has some eighth notes in it. It's also got a couple places with the dotted quarter followed by the eighth. So again, when learning these melodies, and the whole goal with the tablature really is to learn by ear while using those as a helpful aid in where to put your fingers and playing. So you want to try and match what I'm doing, listen to what I'm doing, try and match what I'm doing, and play it that way. Now, if you only ever play along with me, then you won't know necessarily where maybe you're falling short. So it's also good as you practice these on your own or play these on your own, that you'll work on trying to perfect them in the way that you hear me do it, but playing it that way on your own. Okay, so here we go. Shoe Fly. And we're just going to go for them just like we have in the past, and then we may work here and there. Again, it's not necessarily the goal that you can go all the way through this whole video lesson with me playing all of these just right on the spot. You may just take and work on one or two, get those down, and then rejoin me for the next couple, and then get those down, rejoin me for the next couple, and just use the video as you need to, not necessarily as a sit down and play all of them through with me, unless they're just easy and you're able to do that at this point. Okay, so here we go. Shoe Fly. 1 and 2 and 3 and go and... Okay, so now as we're playing some of these, those quarter notes may seem eternally long, but it's important that we play them at a speed that we'll be able to handle the eighth notes at when we get to those, so that it doesn't sound like we just slowed way down, or that the eighth note suddenly sounded like what the quarter notes used to. So that's why I counted it off painfully slow. Let's take it a little bit faster now. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2. Okay, even faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Okay, even faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, we'll go on to the next one now. Okay, so number 33, This Old Man, on pages 28 and 29. So when we get to the end of the third line on page 28, we got to go up to the top of page 29 and play that last line. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1. Okay, let's take it faster now. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Okay, and here's one at a challenge tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let's go on to the next one, number 34. Okay, so page 29, number 34, Sweet Betsy from Pike. This one is in 3/4 time. It comes in on beat 3 in that pickup measure, so just a 1 beat pickup measure. So I'll give us 3, 1, 2, and we'll be in. So here we go. 3, 1, 2. Okay, let's take it a little bit faster. 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2. Okay, and so for the challenge tempo, 3, 1, 2. Okay, let's flip the page. Number 35, Old MacDonald had a farm. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3. Rest. Okay, let's take it just a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. 3. 2, 3. Okay, let's take it just a little bit faster, so up to a challenge tempo. 1, 2, ready, and... Okay, on to the next one. Number 36, The Mockingbird Song. So I haven't mentioned this in a little while, but it can help to sing. If you know these old tunes, sing the lyrics in your head or out loud as you're playing them. That can help you actually play with better rhythm and just sort of connect a melody to sort of an abstract number on lines in that tablature on the page. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Rest. Okay, a little bit faster. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and... Okay, and sort of a challenge tempo. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... Okay, on over to number 37, Dulcimer. Okay, so here we are on page 31 with number 37, Dulcimer. This one's in 4/4 time. It has a 1-beat pickup though, so I'll give us 1, 2, 3, and then we'll catch that fourth one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's take it a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 2, 3, rest. Okay, and so a challenge tempo. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll go on to number 38. Hey ho, nobody home. Okay, so hey ho, nobody home, number 38. With this one, it's got repeat in it. We haven't seen this for a little while, but you'll notice in the second to last bar, when you get to the end of that measure, you're going to hit the repeat sign, bounces us back to the first measure. So we're going to play it again, and then we'll play that final measure. The other thing about this one is we're going to start sneaking that fourth finger back in there. So we've got some fourth fret on that second string that we've got to play at the end of the first line, that last measure there. So again, we want to make sure that we're using our index finger in the first fret, middle in the second, ring in the third, and then pinky in the fourth fret. I know I say it a lot and you're like, yes, 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 but having watched numerous students over the years just play with a couple fingers, it'll really help as we move forward if you force that pinky to develop. And I mentioned this last time, but so you can just work some exercises making those fingers work in all those strings. Just force them to do it. So I was doing that on the second string. We can do it on all the strings that we're working on. Okay, let's go ahead and play this one. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Okay, let's play it a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Okay, and even faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let's flip the page on over to page 32. Okay, so number 39, I need thee every hour. This one's in 3/4 time. It's got a 1-beat pickup, so I'll give us 3, 1, 2, and we'll be in. 3 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, let's take it faster. 3 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, even faster. 3 and 1 and 2 and. It might be a little fast for sort of a hymn tune, but it's good technique. Okay, we'll go on to number 40. Okay, so number 40, the Camptown Races. Now this one is on pages 32 and 33. So when we get to the end of that second line on page 32, we got to go over and do the next 3 lines on page 33. Let's go ahead and do it. It's in 4/4 time, has a 1-beat pickup. So I'll give us 1, 2, 3, and we'll be in. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, so this one has some syncopation in it. Syncopation happens when we move against the natural pulse of the song, or the natural beat. So there's a couple different places where we have this rhythm, do-da-da-dum, do-da-da-dum. So we have 2 things that are on off beats back to back that creates a little bit of a syncopated figure. So it's kind of, hopefully you just kind of intuitively pick it up from me, as that's the design with working on these tablature. But an easy place to find where that happened was in the second to last measure of the song over there on page 33. So we have 1, 2, and do-da, boo-dum. So that little do-da, boo-da is a little bit of syncopation. As we move forward, we're going to see a lot more of that. Let's go ahead and play this one again, but faster. So you got 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we'll do it faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Yay! We'll go on to number 41. Okay, so the last one of this video, number 41, Rock of My Soul. This one's got some more of that syncopation. It'll be kind of fun. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and... Okay, let's do it faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, let's take it even faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so that wraps us up for this lesson. I hope you're having a blast playing the guitar. I sure do love it. The more we do it, it just gets easier and easier, and the better we get at it, the more we can play challenging things that just make it even that much more fun. In the next lesson, we'll be continuing with these same types of things. We'll just be going forward, more songs, more rhythmic figures in there to practice with on the same strings, same frets. So, we'll be doing numbers 42 through 51. We'll see you in that next one. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For help with other guitar playing skills, check out more of my method books and the numerous lessons available as part of my online academy here on YouTube. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.